Hello and welcome to Borkum in East Friesland, which is a string of islands in the North Sea that extends from Germany across just north of the Netherlands. We are here because I watched a video this morning from the great Flightsim481, Rich, and he calls it the Speed Landing Challenge, and it absolutely blew me away. What it is it is flying this route from Borkum to Juist to Noordenay to Baltrum to Langug, and do it just as fast as you possibly can. You have to stay below 1,500 feet. You have to have wind of 10 knots at 280. You have to have your airplane's realism set to max and damage from G's or impact set, so you can't just go smacking it into the ground. These are very short runways, very short distances, and the other rule is that you have to do it in a single engine piston airplane. Now, Rich did it in a Lance Air Legacy, which is about as fast a single engine piston plane as you can find. As a matter of fact,
It's thraping of an aircraft. So I'm not too worried about the GPS, to be honest. I'm more worried about our flight performance and handling, and things like the fact that our constraint was 1,500 feet altitude.
Okay, so he flew it in a Lance Air Legacy, and he flew it in a way that was absolutely brutal to the airplane. It's not the way an airplane should be flown. He oversped the flaps, he oversped the engine, he knocked it around the sky, and we're going to do the same. But where he did the inadvisable, we are going to do the completely bonkers. We are going to do this in the Mighty Dash. Now, as you've seen in some of my other adventures, we can get this thing into and out of some very short strips. The constraint is that we have to have no passengers, no cargo, very little fuel, a lot of flaps, very little speed, and we're going to do the same here. So I have plugged the route, believe it or not, into our FMS, and you can see it right here. It's kind of silly to do, but I wanted to have the route up so you can see. The other thing I've done is I've turned off terrain, because there's absolutely no reason for it to be yelling at us the whole time. The other constraint on this is that even though we're going to be basically flying east, we're going to be landing to the west. So every single landing is going to involve a downwind leg and a turn to final. And the way Rich did it was he used the massive G's in a very tight turn to scrub off speed and to descend and to position himself for a landing with the minimum amount of wasted time and motion. Now, we're not going to be able to turn quite so tightly, and we're actually going to have to fly more slowly. On the other hand, we're going to be flying a massive, by comparison, airliner, and so we're injecting a slightly different aspect to the challenge. My apologies to Rich, we are corrupting it severely, but it means we're going to have to fly wider downwind legs and make a little bit longer and more deliberate turns to final. He was turning to final about 5 seconds at 250 knots past the landing numbers, and we're probably going to have to do a little bit longer than that, because otherwise we'll never get stabilized, we'll never get down, and if we have to do go-arounds, we'll basically blow any chances at all of a good showing. Now, his time was, I believe, 14 minutes and 52 seconds. I have a feeling we are not going to do as well as he did. But, as he famously will say, and has said, and did say on this excellent video, Let's see how we get on. So this is going to be an M-top takeoff, maximum takeoff power. We've got our bleeds on min and our packs on. That's fine. It shouldn't be a factor. We're significantly underweight and overpowered, and I'm probably at this point a little bit over trimmed. But we're also going to do this flaps 10 because we really don't want to have a steep climb out of here. We don't want to hit the trees, obviously, but we want to keep low altitude and high speed. So I'm going to put on the parking brakes, and as soon as we get out of here, we're going to turn almost immediately to about 90 degrees, 090. So ready, steady, start the clock, M-top, rev the engines. We'll take 10 seconds off for the roll because we actually started the clock early. Off come the brakes. Pardon me. We got 80 knots plenty soon, but we do have trees coming up. There we go. And gear up and nose down. Bring the flaps up, start our turn. When I practiced this, I had to be very, very careful about busting altitudes, because you do that very quickly. Okay, we're going to stay at M-top, or at least maximum power the whole time, more or less. But you see the barber pole is creeping up, so we're going to have to reduce power a little bit at least. And I'm losing time also because the scenery is loading here, and I have to fix that. Alright, we're not going to get much higher than this. I'm going to try and trim here. I'm going to have to roll off a lot of power, and I'm actually going to have to come up a little bit. There. Okay, you see the spit of land at our 12 o'clock? That's our target. I'm going a little slower than Rich was here, and I'm a little bit higher up, and I'm significantly out of trim. Alright, I won't sink. I'm going to sink pretty soon, though. That's for sure. I'll just whack out some of this right trim. And see if I can get a little more speed up here. I'm way out of trim no matter what. I mean, this is just... this is a type of flying with way too much power, way too little weight. Way too much control input. This is just not the way you fly. You don't even have time to trim out properly here, but we'll do what we can. Alright, you see that sparkle up there in the distance at about our 11 o'clock? That's our field. And I'm creeping up here in altitude. What I really want to do is just creep up in speed a little bit. But then we're going to have to slow down, and unlike the Lancer, we do not have air spoilers. The Lancer's got speed brakes, and that's plenty fun. On the other hand, this has beefier flaps. The Lancer has a tendency to want to tear its flaps off, so I'm going to try to avoid that. I'm not going to sink, but I am going to come down a little bit, and I'm going to have to lose a little bit of power.
Too low, terrain.
Oh, hush.
Too low, terrain.
Too slow loading textures. Damn it.
Too low, terrain.
Alright, so there's the field.
Too low, terrain.
Let's see if we can see the runway. I don't want to get so low that I can't see the runway.
Too low, terrain.
Hush. You know, I put terrain inhibit on. It should actually inhibit.
Too low, terrain.
Yes, yes, yes.
Too low, terrain.
So we're, what, 3 minutes in here.
Terrain.
There is our strip.
Too low, terrain.
Just going to struggle to find some landmarks here.
Too low, terrain.
I may have to go all the way out to that sandy spit to come back, and I really don't want to.
Too low, terrain.
Alright, off can come some power.
Too low, terrain.
In can come the first notch of flaps. Down can come the gear. Okay, more flaps. There's the runway. Alright. Down can come some more flaps, and some more flaps, and full flaps. Alright, now, unfortunately, we've slowed ourselves down a lot. So now we're going to come down. I'm going to let physics bring back some of that. Okay, there's our runway edge. Here we come. Alright, we have to get a lot slower. I'm going to have to trim nose up now, and at some point I'm going to have to whack in some power. Okay, there's our threshold. We'll be coming up on stick shaker speed any second now. Alright, too high, too low, too much, too slow. Not pretty, but we'll get there. Okay, start to bring up the flaps. Full stop landing. Count to 3. Now back taxi. And turn around. Now, I think the rules stipulated not hitting any grass, but that's obviously just in an airplane like this. We'll do what we can to stay within the spirit of the rules, if not the letter of them. Okay. Now we'll turn hard here and see what we can do. Okay, now we'll just back up. This is what's going to kill us, actually. Do a little reverse. This is like backing up the old Dodge here to a tight parking space. Okay. This is going to take up more time than the flying. Alright, let's leave it right there. Let's get ourselves configured for takeoff. This time we will do flaps 15. Alright, we will do M-top. Okay, you ready? Ooh. This could be tight. There we go. Okay. Gear up, nose down. This next one is fairly short. There's our next airport right there. Okay. Bring up some flaps. Bring in some speed. We're at 8 minutes. There's no way we're going to hit this record, but we are going to have fun trying. Okay, flaps are up.
Caution, terrain.
I'm going to let physics increase our speed right now. Okay, we'll go for that tree line in the distance there as our turning point.
Too low, terrain.
Well, you don't know the half of it.
Too low, terrain.
No, you know what? We'll go at the next distant.
Too low, terrain. Too low, terrain. Too low, terrain.
Okay, there we go.
Terrain.
at how things line
Too
up
low.
there.
Terrain. Too low. Terrain.
All right, again, we're just going to come out a ways, and then we're going to
Too low.
turn hard, and then we're going to drag it in.
Too low. Terrain. Too low. Terrain. Too low. Terrain. Too low. Terrain. Too low. Terrain.
Okay, probably I'm going to overshoot this. I hope I don't, but I think I will. Can't see where I'm going. Let's see if we can see a field anywhere. Where's the field? There's the field. All right, yeah, we did overshoot it, but we can correct.
Too low. Terrain.
This is very short. Okay, I'm going to slip it in here, so to speak. Yeah, we're hosed here. Let's see if we can do it.
Sink rate.
No, we might be able to.
Pull up.
Oh, damn. Okay, let's go around. Too much sink, clearly. Tried to rush that. We arrested that sink just a second before it arrested us. Wow. All right, well, there goes any chances of a record, but let's see if we can make this work anyway. Okay, there's the mustard field right there. We're right in stick shaker territory. Alright, again, I've done this a bit too narrow, so I'm going to widen ourselves out. We'll stay at right around this altitude. That speed is probably decent enough to maneuver at our weight, because our stall speed is about 98 knots right now. So, times 1.3, that'll get us there. I really don't want to descend too much. Just get into a slight descent here. Tell you, boy, does the altitude burn off quickly in this airplane or what? It does know how to sink. Okay, there's the field. Again, we did overcook it a little bit, so I'll have a better sense next time on how wide to go. But now, at least we're in a stable approach here. Reasonably stable. And we're coming into a nice headwind. You can see 9 knots right off of our nose, which certainly doesn't help us in terms of speed, but helps us in terms of landing distance. Okay, we're sort of dragging it in, but we have to land as short as possible here, and it's not going to be pretty. It's running into trim limits here when you're doing this. That's part of the problem. Okay. Got a bit of a crosswind now, and off comes the power, and up comes the nose, and uncrab, and on the brakes. And boy, isn't beta good. All right, now we're going to roll down to the end here. Oh, well, actually, you know, we have to come to a full stop. Count to 3. 1, 2, 3. And taxi down the runway. And we're already up to 13 minutes, so no chance of a record. But chance to enter the history books nonetheless. We are expediting this taxi, as you can see. Taking advantage of this little patch of taxiway here to help us turn around. There we go, a little differential braking. And we're ready to go again. Alright, so here we go. Flaps 15. M-top again. Trim's actually more or less in the right spot. And full power. Wait, you see? It's not going to M-top. Let's get it on M-top. There we go. And off with the brakes. A lot of right rudder trim. And here we go. I believe this next one is the shortest hop yet, but we'll find out. Okay. Gear up. Nose down. Flaps up. Just scale this down a little bit.
Caution, terrain. Caution, terrain.
You know it, buddy. Alright, let's get some speed. We'll, as Rich says, whack in a little speed. I believe this next one is a grass strip. Is it a grass strip or is it the paving stones? Whatever it is, I believe it's the shortest one of the bunch. So this could be interesting.
Too low, terrain. Too low, terrain.
Okay, it is
Too low,
right
terrain.
there, if I'm not mistaken.
Too low, terrain.
Is that it? Is that it? Is that it?
Too low.
That
terrain.
is... Oh my goodness gracious. Alright,
Too low, terrain.
that's it.
Too low, terrain.
Alright, flaps
Too
down,
low, terrain.
gear down. Widen out just a little bit. Alright, you can see I'm flipping in and out of beta mode this whole time. Alright, now this could get hairy. So round we come. Hope I don't have to do this twice. We're just going to creep this little sucker in, if we possibly can. I'm grossly out of trim here. I'm obscenely out of trim.
Too low, terrain.
Okay, there's our strip. I'm going to set up a rather awful sink and then try to arrest it. I'm going to have to start arresting it early, like now. There. In comes the power. Notice how, look at that, look at us sink. Look at us sink. Over the threshold. Oh, failed. But still managed to stop in the nick of time. Alright, so count to 3, 2, 3. Boy. Alright, well there's naught we can do here except go on the grass. So my apologies to the airport owners, but this is a matter of dire necessity, isn't it? Let's see, how are we going to do this? We're going to have to do the old three-point turn again. And this time, we are going to have to literally back up down the runway here, using our beta to get ourselves lined up again to take off. So let's do that. Throw us into beta, and We shall just... Okay, well... Get ourselves... Let's get as much as we can out of it here. Okay. We've got all wheels on the pavement, sort of. We're going to take off, we're going to screw the drag, we're going to count on using these flaps as sort of blown flaps. Alright. We're going to be M-top all the way here, baby. And here we go. Not sure this is going to work. Almost certain it's not. Not. Alright, well, just not made for that, but alright. Last stop. Gear up. There's simply no way that the Mighty Dash could get off that strip, which couldn't be more than 1,000 feet long. But I'll check later. Alright. Flaps up. And here we go for our final hop. Bring up the speed. And is this our last field right there? I do believe it is. Alright, so here we go.
Terrain. Caution. Terrain.
Get into a wider downwind here and we'll come back along the beach. That's another shorty. Wow. That can't possibly be it. Can that be it?
Too low. Terrain.
I'll bet it is.
Don't sink.
Alright, I won't sink.
Don't sink.
Yes, that is. Alright, so here we go. Let's see.
Too low.
Okay,
Terrain.
there's the field.
Too low. Terrain. Too low. Terrain. Too low. Terrain.
Down come the flaps, down come the gear. Bring out some more flaps. Bring in a lot of trim, big ol' whack of it. We ran out of elevator authority at one point on that last approach. There was almost no amount of trim that could get the elevator to come back far enough. Okay, so there's the strip there. Right at stick shaker speed there.
Too low. Terrain. Too low. Terrain.
Alright, let's try and be reasonable about this. There's our field. We'll turn final. We'll bring her in at, try to bring it in at about 100 knots. We're full flaps, full props, but we are probably 3 bricks shy of a load. Again, we're setting up for a lot of sink here. We're letting Newton's laws help us out a little bit here. Got trees on the end of the runway. That is not going to be good. Over the trees. That should just about do it. There we go. And on the brakes, 24 minutes. 24 minutes and 28 seconds. All right. Well, with the exception of that short runway in the middle, which is physically impossible for this plane to do, we could do it. And if we hadn't done a missed approach, we probably would have done it in about 18 minutes. So not too bad. In the meantime, 24:32, not too bad. I will see you real soon, and we'll actually have a real normal flight or something like that.